We've all had those moments where we wish we could think of something funny to say, but our mind goes blank. It can be frustrating, especially when you're talking to someone you really want to like you. So in this video, we'll go through 4 easy ways you can make people laugh and love being around you. We'll do this by breaking down some clips from the king of sarcasm, Ryan Reynolds. Some people mistakenly think this type of sarcastic humor makes you an asshole, but when done properly, it can instantly make people like you more. Let's start with the simplest habit you can steal from Ryan. Exaggerate so much, it's impossible to take you seriously. Watch this quick example after Graham Norton asks if Ryan was good with girls growing up.
No, not at all.
I don't believe it.
No, I went through puberty at like 27.
Really?
There's 2 situations where this type of joke is most useful. The first is when answering potentially boring questions during small talk.
How old are your girls now?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've been around the world.
If you can transform someone's boring small talk into a funny, playful conversation, they will love you for it. That said, a common mistake with sarcasm is to say something potentially believable. This can leave people confused or even upset with you. By contrast, watch how obviously untrue Ryan's answer is in this Wired interview with Jake Gyllenhaal. You can tell Jake loves it.
What does Jake Gyllenhaal? What does he eat? Well, funny you should ask. Baby pandas.
Now you know the joke is coming, which blunts some of its effect, but in your own life, most people asking boring small talk questions won't be expecting you to give a funny response. And when you do, you separate yourself as more fun than 95% of people who give a boring answer. In addition to answering questions, you can also use these over-the-top exaggerations to make people laugh during your stories. For example, listen to Ryan discuss working with a child actor for the first time.
I was nervous. I mean, when you're working with a child actor, you first thing you think is, I want to take my life with fire.
Right.
There's that famous saying about...
This is especially powerful if you're being negative. In general, no one likes to listen to someone complain. By exaggerating how much he was dreading it, Ryan makes complaining fun to listen to. Here's another example from the same interview where Ryan talks about how the studio tried to get him and his 10-year-old co-star to bond.
So they set up this day. We went out to the Museum of Natural History. She wanted to see the turtles, and she drags me across the park, Central Park, all the way into FAO Schwartz. Mm-hmm. I'm in there. I'm just longing for death.
Now, even if it's funny, if negative sarcasm is your go-to style of humor, some people may fatigue from your negativity. You can avoid this by ultimately ending your stories on a positive note. Watch how Ryan wraps up that particular story.
And her mom walks up and she says, Ryan bought me a stuffed toy. It cost $300. What an idiot. And it's like, at that moment, I fell hopelessly in love with this little girl.
That's a smart kid, yeah.
I'm kidnapping you and keeping you for the rest of my life. Yeah,
One thing you saw throughout that story that will help you make any joke funnier is specificity. For example, compare this next clip to if Ryan had just said his kids leave him feeling tired.
It's always a challenge. Two kids, it's like, I think of like blinking now as like tiny little breaks all day.
If you're not good at this, an easy way to practice it is with the mind's eye method. Basically, when you want to make someone laugh, try to conjure up an absurd image in the person's mind. For example, Ryan was in a movie with Denzel Washington at one point who Ryan really admires. Instead of just saying he admires him, listen to how Ryan paints a fake funny image you can picture in your mind.
But he knocks on my trailer, on my dressing room door, and he says, can I run the scene with you real quick? And I'm like, what? I ripping my Denzel Washington poster down, and like, yes, come on in, everything's fine.
Here's a few more quick examples. Notice how he gets a laugh every time he replaces a generic statement like, they don't pay well, with an absurd visual image.
You care? After you make so much money, do you even care if it flops or not?
How do you... I work for 20th Century Fox. What do you think I'm paid in spit and insults?
This is an American-made gin.
It's an American gin, a little smoother than its British counterparts, a little more drinkable. Wow, I sound like a pro.
Yeah, you're actually good at
I really know nothing about gin. If I ran the company for real, it would be on fire.
I used to say to her, I would take a bullet for you. I could never love anything as much as I love you. I would say that to my wife, and then the second I looked in that baby's eyes, I knew in that exact moment that if we were ever under attack, I would use my wife as a human shield to protect that baby.
This type of witty humor may seem daunting at first because you have to be able to think quickly on the spot. But like any other skill, it gets much easier with a little practice. You can do that formally with improv classes like Ryan did, or you can do it informally simply by making it a priority next time you're somewhere social. If you're going to do the latter, you can set yourself up for success using priming. Simply put, if you know you're heading into a situation where you want to be witty, take just 5 minutes beforehand and watch someone like Ryan Reynolds, Chris Pratt, or whoever has the sense of humor you admire. This will help prime you to think like they do before you head out. The next technique you can steal from Ryan is the fake out method. This is something you can do anytime you're telling a story, but it's especially easy if you're saying something that people expect will be sentimental. Watch this quick example of Ryan talking about how he became an investor in aviation gin.
11 years ago, I remember reading a Deadpool comic and feeling like this is a once-in-a-lifetime connection. And then a few years later, I met my wife, and I was like, oh, I guess a once-in-a-lifetime connection can happen twice. And then we had our children, and that's when I realized that I love gin. I took the passion.
A nice trick if you want to ensure you get a laugh is to slow down or give a slight pause before the punchline. This lets whoever's listening to you start to fill in the blank incorrectly in their mind, so they can be surprised by your unexpected twist. Here's another example. This time, Ryan is talking about how he gave Denzel Washington a black eye while filming Safe House.
I banged his face very, very hard with my head, which for a young actor, that doesn't feel good. I didn't know what to do in the moment. You know, I didn't know if I should call for help. Not for him, for me.
Now, one common mistake people make when they're learning to be more charismatic is to put a lot of pressure on themselves to perform for other people. Ironically, the best thing you can do is to take the techniques from this video that you find funny and put those into practice. Ryan isn't just funny because of the words he says. He's funny because of his tone, his energy, and his body language. But rather than try to mimic all of that consciously, it's far easier for you if you just focus on self-amusement and having a good time. If you do that, those subconscious signals will naturally improve. For example, listen to Ryan talk about how he got good enough at voiceovers to do the movie trailer for Deadpool.
So you didn't just work on the things, you did the voiceovers for some of the trailers. You did the voiceover guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that stuff. I do it at home all the time. Drives my wife nuts. It's the, you know, it's that voice that in a world divided by fear.
Depending on where you're starting from, being playful at all might feel like a stretch. So you'll have to start by going slightly outside your comfort zone. But ultimately, what you're aiming for is to find the style of joke that naturally makes you smile and laugh as you do it. This will make you have more fun in conversation and make people want to be around you more. The one piece of nuance to that is if you want people to like being around you, you're probably better off building the habit of being positive with your humor. For example, compare how Ryan and Jake react when this woman makes a joke that's just okay.
Operation Jakey Jakes and Rai Rai.
Oh, somebody's been reading my diary.
And does my body language say anything about the line of questioning that may
sounds like you're
about
shut
to
off.
occur?
You lost him, but you have me. Look
He's
at
so
this.
open, he's hydrating and
Check
ready to
this
go.
out.
You see him? I'm just like...
As you just saw, both positive and negative humor can make people laugh. But when you cultivate a positive, supportive sense of humor, it invites the other person to be more playful and continue to have fun in conversation. Make a habit of that, and you'll become the person everyone looks forward to talking to. Now, making people laugh is obviously just one part of conversation. Whether you're looking for a new mentor, more friends, or more dates, there's a lot more to forming a connection with someone than what we've covered here. You have to be able to confidently start a conversation, hook them in the first few minutes so they want to learn more about you, and then build a strong enough connection that they genuinely want to see you again. If you'd like a step-by-step guide that lays out how to quickly master those skills, you may like our program Charisma University. It's the fastest way I know to become confident and charismatic. You can read all of the details in the link below, but I figure the best way to show you what it's all about is to let the members speak for themselves. So here are a few of the things that CU members have written us. The first one is from someone who was interviewing for a new job. They say, I interviewed at dozens of places for jobs after medical school. At the end of one of my interview days, the doctor pulled me aside and said that I had hands down the best interview out of everybody, and that they would love to have me at their program. They ranked me #1, and it's my current job. This next one is a comment in the course from someone who used it mainly to improve their social and dating life. He says, life-changing. In 6 weeks, I went from being socially awkward with few friends to the life of every event I attend. I also went from having serious girl problems to dating the girl of my dreams. Charisma University transformed me from a lonely introvert hoping to better connect with people to an energy-filled extrovert who makes new friends everywhere I go. And this last one comes from a guy who got promoted to a senior position early in his career. He says, I don't even have a bachelor diploma, yet they want me to fill this position, and when asked why, this was the answer. You have great social skills, which is rare for an engineer. You can think quick on your feet, and you are open and self-assured in your demeanor. Thank you so much for all that you have taught me. You have truly changed my life because without Charisma University, I wouldn't have qualified for that position in a million lifetimes. You'll see more stories like these in the comments if you decide to join the course. If you do join, it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, which is 100% for any reason at all. I make it 60 days, even though the course is only 30 days, because I want to make sure that every single member truly feels like they're getting a ton of value from the course. So if you want to check the course out, go ahead and click the link on screen now or below in the description. We've had over 8,000 members go through the course and get a ton out of it, and I'd love for you to do the same. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.